On the news tonight, federal government constitutes committee to fast-track implementation of the Electricity Act 2023. Lagos State government steps up measures to address persistent flooding and improve drainage infrastructure. Good evening and welcome to Nta Ijebu Ode News at 7. My name is Anthony Gandun. Now the news in details. The federal government has set up 9-member interagency committee to address issues around decentralization of electricity market. Minister of Power Joseph Tegbe is to chair the committee. The objective is to drive sustained engagement, resolve energy implementation issues, and support the seamless operationalization of the Electricity Act 2023. The committee has 4 weeks and will work with other stakeholders and share the resolution within the time frame. In the same development, the Rural Electrification Agency is driving a national conversation for a coordinated approach in the deployment of renewable energy technologies to productive ventures for economic growth. Joshua Ojito reports that this is to harmonize financing opportunities and ensure sustainability of the project.
Beyond lighting communities, renewable energy technologies are to power productive ventures, especially agricultural value chain, to grow the economy. But how well has this been explored over the years is the question this forum seeks to provide answers, as Rural Electrification Agency REA, in partnership with ECOWAS, engage relevant players to adopt framework for strategic implementation of renewable energy projects.
We're making strides, but we need to ensure those strides are sustainable and those strides actually translate into economic growth.
In as much as this project may deliver the desired result, but when different government agencies that are working within specific sector come together, align the designing of the project together, we end up to optimize the utilization of the public funds, create a much more viable, workable system that may outlive the project design.
ECOWAS Commission has placed access to modern sustainable energy services at the very top of our regional priority.
All partners agreed and the Memorandum of Understanding signed to ensure that every kilowatts of electricity generated from renewable energy is used optimally to boost productivity and grow the nation's economy. Joshua Ojito, NTA News.
As part of efforts to prevent the incursion of vandals and indiscriminate dumping of refuse on Lagos-Calabar Highway Corridor, the federal government has partnered with Lagos State Command of the Nigerian Police to engage 40 community youths at the corridor to complement ongoing road security efforts of the road. Lanre Beley tells us more.
And the controller Lagos has to lead this fight by employing 40 people. 20 will work in the night, 20 will work in the day.
The Ministry of Works, Lagos State, has expedited action on directive and chose community youth along the coastal highway, created a legal structure to back up their exercise on the road with the nod of Lagos State zonal and state commands.
We want to commend police very highly. They've been helping us, but we need to do more. Most of our materials on coastal road are being stolen. We engage 40 young men. We have warned them, if they go astray too, they themselves can be arrested.
Their duties include protecting the clear view fence, manholes, and the directional signs, prohibiting livestock roaming the highway, stationary articulated vehicles, commercial motorcycles and tricycles, and indiscriminate dumping of refuse along the corridor.
Make sure that your assignment, that you have been given, you carry it out diligently with passion. This is more of an intelligence and collaboration system. The mandate is not to go and
arrest people and burn them with tires and cause mayhem. You will be doing more harm. There's no jungle justice. The police is the only empowered organization to make this type of arrests and prosecution.
For its effective takeoff, 20 motorcycles have been provided for the youth to monitor proceedings along the highway, with other gadgets promised to be delivered. The security architecture of the crew will also be in shifts, both day and night. In Lagos, Lanre Belayi, NTA News.
Lagos State Governor Babajide Sanwo-Olu has announced plans to review the master plans of flood-prone communities, particularly along the Lekki corridor, as part of efforts to tackle persistent flooding, restore natural waterways, and improve drainage infrastructure. The governor made this known during an inspection of flood-affected communities in Etiosa and Ibeju-Lekki local government areas. Joy Ken Agbaku reports.
We've been having problem with this canal for that past few years, but the way the thing is going every year is terrible.
The way they want me to do now, that you remove this water and do the road from Adesa down to Kobaron about. China, they got aware.
I believe that they are coming here today is going to be helpful to the entire people of Etiosa East and the people of Ogombo.
Determined to find lasting solutions to flooding in parts of the Lekki corridor, Governor Babajide Sanwo-Olu led members of the State Executive Council on an inspection of flood-affected communities, including Ogombo, Monastery Road, Chevron Drive, Ajiro, and Awoyaya. Governor Sanwo-Olu said the state would review the master plans of flood-prone communities to identify developments that have encroached on natural waterways and drainage channels. He attributed the flooding to heavy rainfall, climate change, and human activities, assuring residents that dredging, excavation, and expansion of drainage infrastructure would be intensified to improve water flow and reduce flooding across the affected areas.
In all of the journey we have seen today, there is a natural occurrence, there's also a human factor out of it. But I think the volume of water that we have recorded in the last 3-4 weeks in Lagos are largely due to natural occurrence, right? And nature will always take its course. But it's important for me that between the last 2 days, when there's a slowdown of the rain, for us to come out and see where we need to do additional drainage improvement and additional investment in building, clear water channel.
The majority leader of the Lagos State House of Assembly and member representing Etiosa Constituency 1, Nohim Adams, commended the governor for personally assessing the situation. He urged residents to support government efforts by keeping drainage channels free of refuse and complying with environmental regulations.
So since they are here today, we'll be expecting positive changes in the flood. They have come to look at the temporary solutions, and they have also talked about the permanent solutions. Those both will be addressed. The temporary and the permanent solutions will be addressed by the governor.
Sympathizing with residents whose homes and property were affected by the flooding, the state government assured of relief support when necessary. In Lagos, Joy Ken Abakuya, NTA News.
Nigeria's drive to build a globally competitive workforce is receiving fresh momentum as the Industrial Training Fund (ITF) strengthens collaboration with the National Board for Technical Education (NBTE) to close the gap between classroom learning and workforce demands. Musa Abubakar reports.
Under the renewed partnership, the ITF will champion hands-on skill development, apprenticeship, and artisan training, while the MBTE focuses on regulating and strengthening formal technical and vocational education. The ITF says the complementary roles will ensure that students not only earn certificates but also acquire practical competences demanded by industries.
Academic track will be regulated fully by MBTE. Polytechnics and formal technical colleges, and the others will be managed and regulated by MBTE. While the industrial track, corporate apprenticeship, informal sectors like super, RPL, regulation of Sector Skill Council be regulated, ITF.
The National Council on Skills was able to bring an end to the clash of mandates. So work with ITF in ensuring that our students get hands-on training.
The fund adds that the partnership reflects a renewed commitment in Abuja. Musa Abubakar, NTA News.
We are going on break. The news will continue after. Please stay tuned. You are welcome back. The news continues. The Zonal Director of the Nigerian Television Authority, Nta Ijebu Network Center, Taiwo Iterogba, has reiterated the need for all stations under the zone to remain committed to the core mandate of public service broadcasting while embracing innovation, professionalism, and operational excellence. He made this known at the quarterly expanded management meeting of NTA stations under the Ibadan Zonal Center held at NTA Oshogbo. Kayode Oladoshu reports.
The expanded meeting brought together the zonal director, general managers, and officers in charge of stations under the Ibadan Zonal Center to review broadcasting operations, address emerging challenges, and chart a course for improved service delivery. The zonal director, Taiwo Iterogba, stressed the importance of upholding the values of accurate, balanced, and credible reportage and programs while exploring modern broadcasting techniques that will enhance content quality and audience engagement.
The gains we had, we came to review operations and to consolidate on those gains, and where there are challenges noted, of course, collectively we review it together so that we can work on those challenges.
He also urged station managers to work collectively towards strengthening the organization through innovation, effective management, and strict adherence to the ideals of public service broadcasting.
Management in Abuja watches over the whole of the NTA, and what we do here as a zone will also matter to them. Of course, there's a directive recently in terms of the zonal content production for headquarters, for which we are going to make our contribution. And that is an integral part and reason for this meeting.
Station heads expressed confidence that the resolutions reached at the meeting would further enhance professionalism and improve service delivery.
We were able to come up with some resolution that I think are so crucial to enhance our performance at the individual stations. And I think we as leader were to give directive and to ensure that our subordinates, our staff, follow this instruction.
Our content, news reportage, will be able to, if you do it the way we ought to do it, creatively, we'll be able to generate traffic to the stations.
The outcome of the expanded meeting is expected to further consolidate NTA's position as Nigeria's leading broadcasting organization. In Oshogbo, Kayode Oladoshu, NTA News.
In a historic push for the actualization of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu's ambitious target of a $1 trillion economy for Nigeria, business leaders and diplomats have decided to unite in connecting Nigeria's raw wealth with Indonesia's power for mutually beneficial bilateral trade. This was at a business forum co-organized by Triple Pillar Consulting Limited, Indonesian Trade Promotion Center, and Kwara Chamber of Commerce, Industry, Mines and Agriculture held in Ilorin, the Kwara State capital. The report.
In a first-of-its-kind gathering for north-central Nigeria,
business owners and eager entrepreneurs gathered in Ilorin with a mission to bridging the gap between Nigeria's vibrant agricultural wealth and Indonesia's manufacturing dominance. The gains of the business forum, according to the organizers, lie in mutual economic survival for both Nigeria and Indonesia. While Nigerian firms supply critical agricultural, mineral, and energy resources to Indonesia buyers, local enterprises gain direct access to advanced machinery and processing technology, thereby boosting domestic productivity and creating more jobs. Although bilateral trade between the two countries has reached $3.24 billion in 2025, the forum is rallying Nigerian businesses to attend the upcoming 41st Trade Expo Indonesia in Jakarta in October for business networking and direct route to global markets.
Join the Trade Expo and then make the potential trade partnership with the Indonesian businessmen, and then strengthen the trade relationship between the Nigerian and Indonesia.
Most of our enterprises are small and medium scale enterprises, but we're trying to encourage them to export their products, beyond Kwara State, beyond Nigeria, beyond ECOWAS, to even explore into the global business market.
We are also bringing in Indonesian businessmen into Kwara to come and establish. So it's a kind of an exchange program.
The Indonesia Business Forum featured presentations on business opportunities in Indonesia, Kwara, and other parts of Nigeria, as well as trade exhibition.
Osun State Governor Ademola Adeleke has condemned the recent suspected court-related killing in Osogbo, calling for calm and urging security agencies to intensify efforts to restore order and bring those responsible to justice. In a statement issued by his spokesperson, Malam Olawale Rashid, Governor Adeleke described the killings and the ensuing violence as unacceptable, urging law enforcement agencies to swiftly investigate the incidents and apprehend the perpetrators. The governor warned against any insurgence of court-related violence capable of worsening the state's security, particularly in the wake of recent political violence. He appealed to residents to remain peaceful and cooperate with security agencies. That ends the news tonight. Join us tomorrow for another interesting package. From me, good night.